Good day. English, Afrikaans, Zulu, Xhosa, Sesotho, Setswana, Pedi, Venda, Tsonga, Ndebele, or Hindi?
English, thank you.
I don't see her, man.
Okay, sorry.
Your pregnant wife. You were going so fast, I was sure you're on your way to the labor ward.
I'm sorry, I'm not married.
199 kilometers per hour in a 90 zone. You know what that means?
Mr. Policeman, I can explain.
6 months behind bars. Or a 50 rand admission of guilt.
Ah, can you break 200?
What? You men? Are you trying to curry favor with an officer of the law? I am sure I heard myself say 50 rand. Get out of the car now. Assume your position while I read your rights. You have the right to 6 months in jail for exceeding the speed limit by 90 kilometers per hour. You have the right to a further 12 months in prison for currying favor with an officer. Human, you like curry? Huh? Acha, you know hot stuff.
Yes, welcome to the special broadcast on Salam Media this hour. It's now 1:38, and in those short scenes, you saw one of South Africa's iconic actors and producers, none other than Mr. Leon Schuster. And I hope in this small insert, we are not going to be shucked at all, but rather we will be speaking to him directly as a fellow South African. Now, there's been news that has set Twitter alight and has gone viral across many entertainment websites. And I'm going to read from celebsnow.co.za. I don't see color, I see South Africans. Leon Schuster says he will continue to make movies. Showmax this week removed Leon's films from their catalog while they review them for racially insensitive material. Veteran actor and comedian Leon Schuster has defended his use of blackface in films amid a review by Showmax that has seen his content removed from the streaming service. And we'd like to welcome to the program this afternoon none other than Mr. Leon Schuster. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Well, we're happy to see you on the other end, and you've kept us smiling for many, many years with many of your shows. But right now, it seems to be a spot of bother and controversy as Showmax have sent many of your programs for review. What is the actual standing right now regarding your productions on Showmax?
Sorry, I didn't hear that question. Can you just ask it again, please?
All right, we just want to know the Showmax stance with regards to your movies and videos that you've made over the years. What is the actual stance right now? Where are we in this dialogue between you and the platform?
Well, basically, they want to remove my movies from Showmax. There's only 3 that I've heard that won't be removed now. That is the 3 movies that I made with Anand Singh, which is Bones 1, Bones 2, and Mama Jack. And you wanna know what is my standing? My standing is an honest opinion coming from the bottom of my heart. I'm a comedian. I take on people, and I do it for the sake of other people to get a laugh from it. South Africans have a wonderful sense of humor. They are not like the Americans, oversensitive about race and all that, although I find it very difficult to believe that there's a bunch of American movies that are very racist. So why they must remove mine, I don't know. I do things from the bottom of my heart to entertain other people, not to offend people. And I get reaction from all racial groups in South Africa: Indian, white, black, Chinese, colors, whatever. They all like my movies. Not all. I get a lot of criticism as well, which I also take to heart, and I work on that. But for me to see a theater full of the whole spectrum of an audience in South Africa, as I said, it makes my heart warm to see that we can laugh together. We don't have to be one in the cinema for an Indian movie, one in the cinema for whatever movie. We all sit together And that brings people together. And when I get criticism, I say, who else? And I'm not trying to brag here, I'm just being honest. Who else has achieved that? To get all South Africans over the broad spectrum of race, culture, color, creed, all of them in one theater, and they laugh at the same thing. That is extremely heartwarming for me, and I am proud that I am a guy that succeeded in doing this.
Mhm.
There's no,
Now,
yeah, I just want to say to you, I don't think politics, I don't think race, I don't think racism. I just do what my gut feeling tells me to do. Sometimes I do offend people and they give me a smack, and every smack that I get is worth 50,000 Rand at at the box office, because for some reason the people like me to get smacked by the members of the public. But as I say, I'm a boykie from the Free State. I've got no political stuff inside me. I don't know about uh, what the Constitution says and what the politicians say. It's such a mess in the Parliament most of the time that you don't want to watch it. And I was even thinking of making a movie about the South African Parliament, which I think can be very interesting. But at the moment, I've got to be sensitive. Some people are upset, most people are not. And I thank them for supporting me. South Africa, I thank you for supporting me. I love you. And what I do it for you. That's the
mhm.
only reason I do it, is for
Now, Mr.
you.
Schuster, we've seen, as you say, on Twitter, for example, people that have been supporting you, and people have been calling and saying that why people who think your movies are racist are delusional, for example. But there's a growing amount of people, I do believe, as well, on social media, and are beginning to express themselves, saying that some of the content is offensive, and in many cases, people of color, for example, are meant to or portrayed as being stupid, as being idiotic. We played a small little clip there in front, and you saw again a caricature of an Indian police officer trying to solicit a bribe, or trying to turn towards curry in favor, playing on the food that people eat. Do you think that your some of your works may have been offensive to people of color?
Well, I think some people will take it to heart and will say that it's racist. But a good example, this that you saw in this previous scene is reality. There are bribes from speed cops, whether they're brown or black or white. There are bribes. That's the reality. So I'm taking the reality and I'm taking the Mickey out of it, and I'm giving the people a nice character that they can enjoy without feeling that I'm offending people, without feeling that I'm being racist. It's my gut feeling that tells me that. When I create my characters, I work on them in front of the mirror, the facial expressions, and that specific Indian character is just another cop, but he's a clever cop because he gets a nice compensation out of the motorist. So that's
But the point,
reality.
I think that what people are saying is that the point is there's never a white person that's put into that kind of a position, or very rarely, rather, and let's not say never, into a position of idiotic, looking like an idiot, technically, and it's always a person of color. For example, I'll take you back right into when I was a young kid, watching one of your first shows. It was in the early '90s, perhaps. Here was a man of Indian heritage, or looking like an Indian. He had a beard just as long as mine, a hat on his head, with a boat going down the Vaal Dam or the Vaal River, one of the rivers in the country, tangling up white fishermen's lines, and making some whining sounds, or whiny, something like that. It really portrayed a person like me. I have those outward features as being, just a nobody almost.
Well, that's your opinion, and that's not the majority, or that's not the opinion of the majority. The people that I were enraging were white fishermen, not black or Indian or colored. They were white fishermen, and they threw me with sinkers and with millipop and with everything they could get into their hands. And it's not about offending anyone, it's about making fun out of a situation. And I do not see that as racist. You must go and watch White Chicks, which is a movie that was made by the Wayans brothers, where they portray two blonde men who portray two blonde ladies. That is racism in its worst because they take it much further than I can ever dream of taking it. That movie has not been banned from the circuit. That movie is still playing in America. So I don't I'm not feeling guilty about anything because I know what my heart's intention is. My heart's intention is to make fun of a situation and to create some slapstick comedy that most of the people enjoy tremendously. That's my aim. And it's to make people feel better about their own lives and about living in a difficult country where things are not easy. And let's be honest about that. This country is in trouble at this point in time. It's in deep, deep trouble. And what do people want to see to get uplifted is comedy movies, comedy skits on television, which talks to the nation about themselves. And that's what I do. And
And I think that's the problem actually, Mr. Schuster, because most of the caricatures are of people of color, whether they are blacks, coloreds, or Indians, or anybody else, Chinese maybe, that always seem to have the lesser role as compared to the white person that is, being offended, or their golf golf game is being disrupted by a person of color. The use of the
no,
black
no, no,
face,
no,
for
no.
example, what is your opinion
Once
on the use of the blackface, and the roles that they have played, despite having people in your crew who are born black people, but still having to wear the blackface yourself and do the caricature?
not all my characters are blackface. You've got it wrong there. I played in the 2010 movie when the Soccer World Cup was in South Africa. My anchor role was a white Hollander from Holland who sort of told the story about South Africa and about racism and about all of that. And he was a lead, he played a lead role in that movie. So you're making a mistake by saying that all my characters are black. And there's another reason for that. I cannot go like this, like the look I've got now. I cannot go and prank somebody because they recognize me. And even if I change myself to make myself look differently as a white man, they still recognize me. So I get away with them not recognizing me by playing a person of color. And I'm sorry, but I think people are oversensitive about this thing. We're just trying to make fun. We're not trying to offend people. We're trying to make fun. There's a Nansing, his comments here saying Leon has always just had one intention, that is to make his audience laugh. He doesn't say Leon is a racist. He says we know Leon like that and we accept him like that and we are not upset by what he does when he's got black makeup or Indian makeup on his face.
There's an interesting question that has come through on the Twitter timelines under this particular discussion. One person saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, basically, that a lot has been said about Indian people, black people, colored people, and bringing out the Mickey and the humor in all of this. But would you have done the same thing regarding, and this is particularly with regards to the blackface, because the blackface is a symbol of oppression of black people for many, many centuries. And many have been persecuted, killed. In fact, millions in Africa have been killed by European colonialists over the years. And in this particular time of colonialism, the blackface was a scene of mockery in Europe. Now, let's transfer that into a skit on the Holocaust, for example. Would we accept something like that, making a joke out of the Holocaust, where again millions of people, Jewish people, were killed indiscriminately, horrifically,
No,
million people, and
and it,
the situations are very much similar here. On one end, the persecution of black people and the use of the mockery and the blackface. Would we do something similar and replace it with the Holocaust?
well, there's no uh, there's no proof in the past that 6 million black people were killed like 6 million Jews were killed.
Or
So
you can go
you
to, yeah, you can go and look at King Leopold and what he did in the Belgian Congo. Over 10 million black people were killed. Slavery
you-
and taking people to
by
the
whom
Americas, millions. European,
by whom were they killed?
European colonizers. Slavery
Which
was slavery was a system entrenched by white people taking black Africans to America. Upon those journeys, thousands and millions of people died.
well, there's no slavery now, and I don't mock slavery, and I will never mock the Holocaust in my whole life. I
But if you
you
did,
know
you mock
you
people of color or bring out the Mickey in them.
you are being too sensitive and going a bit over the top with this thing, because you're an intellectual. I can see that. You know, South Africans are down to earth people. They love their rugby, they love their braai vleis, they love their weekends coming together, Muslims, whatever, Boere, um, uh, whatever race you can think of. I just think you are too sensitive, and I'm not trying to put people in a position where I portray them or myself as being a racist. I'm trying to make fun out of them so that the rest of South Africa can identify with a gag, identify with an Indian spit cop. I've got a place in KwaZulu Natal, and it's roaming with Indian speed cops. And whenever I'm always chasing after something, and I'm always in the trouble with a guy stopping me. And 99% of the time, if not 100%, they say, "Hey, Leon, hey, how nice to meet you. We like your Indian, we like your black guy, we like this, we like that." So the people don't think as deeply as you do. The past is the past that happened. Look, we're dealing with stuff that happens now. Look at what Borat did. You know, I mean, if he could get away with that movie, then anybody can get away with anything in life. Um, so once again, for me, I'm not a intellectual person. I mean, that read very thick books, maybe thin books, but not very thick books. I'm not concerned about what goes on in Parliament, although it upsets me when there's fights happening and people are really enraged, because that's not good for South Africa when in our own Parliament we have these fights going on. But I'm not trying to offend people. Things happen. Things happen. There's an expression that says SH happens. You know, the fan, the popo hitting the fan, it happens. And I'm not shy or embarrassed to say this, because the people, I get away with it mainly because the people see these people that they actually know. They know that Indian cop from a previous experience. They know my whatever character I play. They that's a person that they've seen somewhere in their life. So I'm not trying to make excuses. All I'm trying to say is I am not purposefully trying to offend people. I'm trying to get humor. And we've got a very specific sense of humor, much different than the British, much different than the Americans. You know why? Because we come from a black continent. We are tough. We are people that grew up in the bush, or some of us, people that like to hunt, people that like to fish. So together with all of that comes my movies, which portrays the South African, whatever color, creed, race he is, to portray them for real. That's what I'm trying to do, because reality is the best comedy that you can get. People love reality shows, and
Mr.
Candid
Leon Schuster,
Camera is reality.
Mr. Leon Schuster, we thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We're going to have to leave it there. It's been wonderful chatting to you. I must say, I have grown up watching many of your movies, and I did have a chuckle at one or two of them, especially the guy with the beard. So,
Okay.
but we'll have to leave it there. I think this is a
Okay.
very intricate and delicate discussion, and it's good that we as South Africans can still communicate at this level. Thank you so much for your time. You go well. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for you. I appreciate